Hello everybody, how are you guys doing today? I'm going to be talking to you about Ghost Recon Online. Now the new Ghost Recon is hands down my new favorite online game to play right now. Not only does it take multiplayer shooters to a whole new level, but best of all, it's free to play. Now although it's currently in an open beta phase, it plays and feels like a full game, at least to me it does. The animations of your character's actions are very smooth and fluid, and I haven't experienced any glitches yet, and I'm very pleased with the gameplay. You see, Call of Duty is more of a run and gun, and though Battlefield has larger maps, it can still be considered a very high-paced shooter. Ghost Recon forces you to go about your objective tactically. You'll have to utilize its advanced cover functions to suppress and flank your enemies, as well as communicate with your team using Skype, TeamSpeak, or the in-game voice comm, which works surprisingly well. The game allows you to play with 3 very different classes: Specialist, Assault, and Recon. The Assault class is your average rifleman with a not-so-average unique ability. Every class in game has their own very specific cooldown ability that can be used once the meter is filled. The Assault class's abilities are Blitz and Heat. Blitz gives you a riot shield and lets you charge the enemy like a pissed-off bull on steroids, knocking over anybody dumb enough to try and stand in your way. Heat, on the other hand, is a bit more of a support ability. It gives you a radiation emitter on your back that you can aim at the enemy, doing a DPS of only 1, but it increases with every hit that you get. However, when you're targeted with Heat, it causes your vision to blur and your screen to look like you've been overdosed on some bad acid you got from the hobo down the street. So that's never a good idea. They both have their advantages and can be used in many different ways. These are just the ways that I've found more useful. Now the Specialist class has abilities Aegis and Blackout. Now the Aegis shield emits a bubble shield around you that you can walk around with for as long as it lasts. You can only walk is a keyword. You're not going to be able to run, but that's not too big of a deal. You can shoot out of it, but not in. However, the enemy can still enter the shield and kill you from behind, the front, wherever you're not paying attention, and they can also throw grenades into the shield and blow you up. Now this is very useful for getting through a very well suppressed spot and breaking through defenses. Blackout would be the support ability. It sends out an electrical discharge in its radius, partially blinding and paralyzing anybody inside the blast zone. This would be good for storming a room and taking out an entire squad. The Recon class can use either a sniper rifle or submachine gun. Its abilities include Cloak and Oracle. Cloak acts as an active camouflage for a short period of time and lets you go Predator on your enemies. Great for flanking and gaining a better vantage point, or for counter-sniping, allowing you to peek around corners without being seen by the enemy. Oracle is a bit like Sam Fisher's sonar goggles in Splinter Cell Conviction. What it does is it sends a wave through the walls in front of you, allowing you to see and mark your enemies for yourself and your team. Now my personal favorite class, I'm really not quite sure yet. I really do like them all. I love sniping with the Recon, but I also like to flank and take out a squad with my Assault, so I haven't really decided yet. And recently I've been doing really well with Specialists. That Aegis shield comes in handy. Now remember, this game is free to play, but I'm not sure if it'll stay that way. I recommend this game with 5 out of 5 for replayability, immersion, thrill factor, team orientation, and most of all, it brings something new to the table, which is really important in today's gaming network. It seems like a lot of games are really repetitive. For example, a lot of the Call of Duty games, even, well, maybe not Battlefield, but Halo, Call of Duty, to me personally, I know a lot of you are going to get mad at me for saying this, but it feels like the same game with different textures. Just a lot of shooters are too repetitive, and it's just really hard to get a whole new experience out of something, and Ghost Recon Online definitely provides that. And then just one last thing. Unlike most free-to-plays, this isn't a play-to-win. Though you can pay to buy upgrades, it costs points to obtain those upgrades, which you can earn in-game by doing well in your matches. Just as well, you must reach the level required before you can actually purchase the better weapons. So, for example, an MSR is something that you can buy for the Recon class. I'm not sure exactly what class it is, but the MSR is a lot better than the M24 than what you start off with. Somebody that has a lot of money can pay to buy that weapon, but they're not actually going to be able to unlock and use that weapon until they've reached the appropriate level, which by the time you've reached that level, you'll be able to afford to buy it too with your points. So it's really more for people who are impatient or do a lot of random little purchases with their points that aren't really going to get them anywhere. Alright, that's all I've got for you guys today. So be sure to hit that like button if you did like this. If not, I don't know, hit it anyways, because I'm a nice guy. So enjoy, and as always,